What's up, crew? Testing a new setup, so hopefully it's going to be pretty helpful for you. So today we're going to be talking about for sale by owners. I'm going to go right into a script and a basic setup that I used to use to actually convert for sale by owners. So I think I was able to get about 12 for sale by owners in like a 2-month period. So I mean, it does really well. So I'm going to give you a complete breakdown of that. So I would typically get set up for the day, drive neighborhoods, find for sale by owners, and just really pay attention to what was actively coming on the market. I'd pull up to the home, go knock on the door. If the homeowner was not there, then I would make this call. And I'd basically give them a call and be like, "Hi, my name is Ronnie. I was just giving you a call. I saw that you had your home for sale, and I was just seeing if it was still available." Most of the time they'd be like, "Yeah, it's still available." I'd be like, "Okay, great. I was just curious, could you tell me a little bit more about it? You know, like how much are you asking for it?" They tell me, and then I'd be like, "Okay, well that's a good price. What's your heated square footage?" They tell me their heated square footage. Be like, "Okay, great. That's actually a really good number." And then I would go into something that was really kind of a time saver and it's kind of selfish on my part. So I was kind of just general conversation. Be like, "Okay, great. I appreciate you telling me about your home." Most of the time, people will sell their home on their own, but just in case, if it doesn't sell, have you thought about hiring an agent to actually represent you, if it doesn't sell, kind of like a plan B? And that would just kind of plant that seed in their mind to see if they actually had a plan. The whole point of that is to see if they've actually already thought about it, already have somebody in mind, or to get their general opinion on it. So once I say that, they'll immediately do, one of three things. They'll be like, "Yeah, we have a friend of ours that we're going to be listing with." So they'll automatically tell you if they do have someone in mind. Secondly, they'll either let you know that, "We've thought about it. We haven't really, dove into it, but, I guess we'll cross that bridge when we get there," type mindset. And then the other ones is, "No, we're really just going to see how it goes." Those are usually your best ones, the ones that just want to see how it goes, because they really are just putting themselves out there. So what I normally do for the first one, if they have somebody in mind, I'd be like, "Okay, well, great. Are they a licensed agent?" And I'd dig into that a little bit deeper to see their connection with that person. And I'd be like, "Okay, great. Well, I wish you the best of luck. I appreciate you taking my call." And that's it. I'd cut it short and then move on to the next one. If they were basically saying, "We've thought about that. We don't really have anybody in mind, but we will likely list if we'll give it a shot for a couple months." So I like those as well, because then I would go into the aspect of being like, "Okay, that's great. Would you be open to if I could possibly interview with you? Would that be something that would be an option for you?" And just by setting that up to give them the control, it actually opens them up a little bit more than normal. So by saying, "I'd love the opportunity to interview with you, and is that something that you would be open with?" So I would go that route with it. Most of the time, it's about a 50-50. People are like, that would be, I don't see why that would be a problem. Or then the other one, they would back it on their husband or wife, be like, "Well, I have to check with my husband." I'd be like, "Not a problem." And the reason they're saying that is because they're open to it, but they don't want to tell you no, because they don't know enough about you to shut you down. So I would immediately back off. Be like, "Okay, not a problem at all. Could you tell me a little bit more about your home? Do you have are there any photos on Zillow or Truly? Are you actively advertising it right now? I'd really love to get a little bit more in-depth look of it." So you go and check it out and stuff like that. Then you could really decide whether you want to try and set up a 2-step listing presentation, or if you just want to kind of check out the home. If it's a home you really want that listing, then I would encourage you to go after the 2-step listing presentation, to where you set it up, be like, "Well, perfect. The home looks amazing. I'd really love the chance to maybe just, kind of walk through it and kind of just see it through your eyes, kind of a buyer's perspective, and get a better understanding of what made you buy it, because I think that by seeing those features, I'm going to be able to either maybe share it to one of my buyers and kind of relay the information and be like, "Well, look, you really have to see this," So you really want to just try and get your foot in the door and get in the home, essentially 2-step listing presentation. And they're going to be more open to setting up a showing with you than an interview with you. Because here's the thing, when you get that showing, that's also going to be your interview. The whole goal is to get your foot in the door. So that's the way that'll work. And then for those others that that don't know what to do or that and are just kind of guiding along, I usually take the same route and really just kind of fill them out and just really, you want to look at the home online as well. Pop it up on Zillow. If it looks rough, if it's not something that you want to fool with, if they seem unrealistic in their pricing, you have to decide if you want to move down that road and try and get that listing. Or if you just want to leave it alone and see if they adjust price and stay with it, you can always get it. All you have to do is just be the person that constantly follows up with them, and you'll be the first thing on their mind when they decide to actually convert. So say for instance, then we get set up and we do the two-step listing presentation, and they're like, okay, great. A couple things what I would do here is I would want to build credibility in a very fast way, so multiple touches. So what I would do is I'd be like, okay, great, I'll wait to hear from you on a day that we can set up, or we would lock in that appointment right then and there, that's fine. Then I would go a step further, be like, well, do you mind if I share your listing and maybe try and find a buyer for it, and maybe I can even set up a showing. So you're already working for them, and they see that you're putting that extra effort. And be like, yeah, that'd be great. I'd be like, okay, great. I'll message you later if I have any other questions or need any additional information, and then kind of go that route. So then you would move on. And then maybe later the day, a few hours later, you would probably follow back up with them and be like, hey, look, I just wanted to ask you a couple more details about the home. So they see that you're actively working and actively engaging and actively interested in their property. Give it a day or two, follow up with them again. And then normally before I would do the follow-up, here's what I would do. I'd be like, well, look, how we had mentioned before and how we had said something about interviewing and you listing. Is commission the number one reason why you decided, to go for sale by owner and not list your home? Most of the time, 95% of the time, yes, that's why. I'd be like, great. I'm going to follow up with you in a couple days, and I'm going to do some research and really just see exactly, the value of your home, market value wise. And I'd be like, would it interest you if I could be able to show you, if I could still sell your home and make you what you need to make and be able to pay commission? Would that be something you'd be interested in? Just something like that. Why would they not be interested in it, right? And then I would go that route with it. So that's how I would lock them in, get them interested. For some reason, this thing is flashing and beeping, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. And hopefully that's been helpful thus far. I'll do a part 2 to this as well, because I can just get really, really in depth with it. So hopefully that helps.